You, Internet. You want me to play another one of these games? Well, good for you. I guess I can't really refuse. There are 2 more. And judging by the time the last one, they won't be too long. So it seems that according to this, that we might have gone backwards. What a shame. Anyway, let us start the phantom ice cream truck. Follow a denizen of the border between life and death as he answers a call to rescue a missing child. Why don't we start? The phantom ice cream truck.
A glance around reveals an empty street, and I take a moment of solitude to adjust to my layers. It does little to stave off the biting wind. I clench and unclench my fingers with a deep-rooted ire.
Nice sunset.
I am not being paid well enough for this shit.
Aren't you the same voice from the last game?
Then again, I never am.
Are you the same character?
This was the second night since I had started this assignment. The couple had hired me to bring back their son.
Their son,
They hadn't been so comfortable with the way the official investigation was turning up so very little, and how much the media had begun to spin the tale into a ghost story.
Aren't the parents always uncomfortable about the official investigation before they decide to hire extra help? And besides, ghost stories are the best, and sometimes the only explanation.
The Phantom Ice Cream Truck.
Now that title could use a bit of work.
What a mouthful.
Exactly.
A messy case, too. The police's initial involvement had been straightforward. The first child had fell off the map like the earth had swallowed him whole. Right off the street, according to witnesses. No one saw a thing. No reliable witness heard anything either. No unfamiliar cars or people. No unfamiliar sounds. One moment he was in front of his parents' home, the next he was gone.
Vanished into thin air.
Strange, but there could be plenty of explanations for such an incident. Very mundane ones.
Plenty of explanations, of course.
Such explanations became more unlikely when every child in the neighborhood reported hearing ice cream truck music right around the time of the disappearance.
So how long has this been a part of this town?
Of course, without a single adult able to corroborate this mysterious music, the children's testimony was quickly dismissed.
Because everybody thinks that children's testimonies couldn't be truthful.
Still creepy, right?
Intriguing, yes. Creepy, well, that's up to you, isn't it?
And oh so mysterious.
Oh, yes.
Even more so when it happened again.
Again. So there is a history.
Then a third time.
A third time.
It was the third parents who hired me.
Oh, so this is a current event.
I never really figured out how my clients find me. It's not like I list my number anywhere or advertise.
As he said in the last game.
But somehow word of mouth leads to my phone ringing, and a familiar phrase to indicate it's for business. Ya Fatan. I seek a pact with that which should not be.
Which we would recognize from the last game we played. According to his speech, his customers would say it as if to summon him for a paranormal job.
I know, it's a little trippy. It's from a book I had read back in college.
Yeah, a little.
A friend came up with the joke as his invocation of my aid. He must have used it dozens of times when we were younger, typically for a ride when he had been out drinking.
Then your friend must be the one who, I don't know, helps push the rumors along.
I had become so used to it that when I first answered the phone and heard an unfamiliar voice say the phrase, I just kind of went with it.
That's not always a good choice, young man.
The next time it was the same. And then it became common. Where are you?
We live in Rosterfield, Maine. I know it's a long way from where I heard about you, but can you help us?
Of course.
Will you pay the price?
We will pay anything if you can bring back our son.
I can bring back your son.
The deal is struck. And with that, I called in sick to work. Told them I had the flu and would need a few days off.
You work 2 jobs. Well, I guess there needs to be one way to bring a decent income.
I was given shit about not getting my flu shot, but they didn't hassle me too much. That evening, I was on a plane.
Well, getting your flu shot doesn't always guarantee that you won't get the flu. Perceptions of the dead is what the last
I arrived
game
at
is
the house
called.
at midnight. I arrived at the house at midnight.
You just said that line twice. Is there something I need to know?
I did not knock. After all, it was important to keep up appearances.
Of course.
I didn't knock. The window to the left was latched, but the right slid up easily.
Judging by this intense music, I'm thinking that we're going to run into a friend of ours. Maybe I might even know 1 or 2.
I found the boys' room first and gave it a once-over. Legos, Ben 10 toys, and Star Wars paraphernalia littered the floors and walls. A quick once-over revealed nothing useful, though.
And we don't get to see his room either. What a shame.
I sat on the foot of the bed for almost 10 minutes before one of them stirred.
Oh my god!
Normal reaction. I turn around slowly.
Well, that's one way to make your entrance.
I return for what has been lost. From you, I need 2 items. I need a photo and an article of clothing. Something thick with its smell. The woman stands up slowly, edging against the wall, then runs to the child's room. She returns with a dirty soccer jersey and a copy of a Lost flyer. The father remains paralyzed, his eyes locked with mine. Though likely, he is just staring into the shadow beneath my hood, hoping to see something there, something human, likely questioning his decision to hire me.
If he's looking for something human, he might find it. Not in this way, though.
Can you really find him?
Of course.
I take a long smell of the shirt, then discard it. I take a look at the photo. This time, I spend a lot longer examining it. I wasn't really some bloodhound. I couldn't track by scent, but the photo helped a lot. Now I knew what he looked like.
You do have an odd fascination with scents, don't you?
Yes. She begins to breathe heavily, and then cries. The husband just continues to stare aghast into the hood of my cloak. With that, I begin to walk out. Behind me, I hear the father speak.
Oh, did we just send after our son?
Your worst nightmare. Perceptions of the dead.
The first night had been uneventful. I had turned over the results of the police investigation and found myself wanting.
Why would you go to the police investigation? I thought you would know what is going on here.
Wanting what? Oh, anything resembling a lead.
Of course. You decide to cheat this time.
Did these people get paid to do this shit?
Yes.
I certainly didn't buy the superstitious who were already spreading stories about the ghostly ice cream truck.
aren't the superstitious type, are we? Well, it's better than what hasn't been discovered.
If a ghost were going to come back, it's very unlikely they would be scooting around in an ice cream truck.
How are you so sure?
Talking to children had been painfully hard.
Hmm.
My one fortune was that my attire left me more reminiscent of a Slender Man than a child molester. So the times I was chased away from children I tried to interview were not mistaken for solicitation.
Ah, another reference to Slender Man. You know, from the last game, there must be a Slender involved with this one. Maybe it's the same one that we ended up killing?
I shuddered violently at the thought. The children provided my first real clue. They described a tune, one that sounded like the type and consistency that an ice cream truck might have. Not that ice cream trucks were common these days. I was a little surprised these kids even knew what one was.
You know, I know about an ice cream truck, as well as my neighborhood. One goes around with idolizing music, usually playing Christmas music in late spring and early summer. I, however, would just like to rake my claws against, well, you know.
Some were even able to hum and whistle the tune for me.
Not too much to go on.
I wasn't entirely sure how to run with this info. The relevance of a single song really didn't occur to me. A small piece of the rest of the day was spent feeding myself and taking a nap as inconspicuously as possible.
Really? How quaint.
I had no intention of allowing anyone to see me be anything other than the creepy supernatural and paranormal investigator.
Of course.
It's how I've always done things. You'd be surprised how quickly you can build a rep with the right look and behavior.
Oh, I know.
After the nap, it was back to beating the streets. And my current predicament. It was friggin' cold!
Then get some more layers.
In the near distance, I watched a quartet of kids, roughly 14 or so, playing a ragged game of football.
So are we talking soccer or actual football? As Americans go by it, which is strange, but considerable.
They seemed to be having a great time, but even as far away as I am, their cheers and jeers rattle my nerves.
Oh, you're in for a lot if children can make you shudder.
For a moment, I wish they would be quiet.
Let them be.
As though hearing my thoughts mid-run, they stop, on cue. They stand up straight and begin to draw heavy, ragged breaths. A girl hugs the football to her chest as her eyes grow ever wider. I test reality for a moment. I wish I had a few thousand bitcoins.
You really think that you were able to control those children? Of course not. They see what you are too ignorant to see.
It occurs to me that I should have asked for something more easily checked. At the same time, it occurs to me that I didn't silence those kids.
What did I tell you?
I bite my tongue, close my eyes, and bury the nail of my thumb into the palm of my hand.
Why are you drawing blood, I wonder.
I dig in as hard as I can, drawing blood as my vision blares with the colors behind my eyelids. And then, I hear it.
I wonder why he would need blood to actually hear what the children are hearing.
The song playing on a pair of shitty speakers. The kind you'd hear on top of an old-timey ice cream truck.
Oh, the sound effect is good. It's giving me memories of those wretched ice cream trucks.
My eyes flick open as I scan the horizon. The truck passes me, inches from clipping my shoulder, and heading straight towards the kids.
Well, it looks very old-fashioned.
No, you fucking don't! No, you fucking don't! Oh no, you fucking don't.
Wow, profanity. 3 times. Watch out, kids.
I break into a run, and despite the trivial speed of the truck, barely managed to keep up. As the truck closes on the kids, it slows to a stop, and I finally begin to close the gap.
Run on home, you kids. It's getting dark. This town isn't safe after dark.
After dark, huh? Scared in the dark?
Getting dark? What is he talking about? The sun set hours ago.
Exactly. It seems like our ghost is afraid of something.
No sooner had the words crossed my mind when it all went black.
Or uses the dark.
For a few moments, I thought I had been knocked unconscious.
Very likely.
Then my eyes began to adjust. I make out the faintest impression of light.
Oh no. This isn't good. You kids better get in. I'll get you home safe.
I watch helplessly moving through the dark like it was molasses. Shadows pass before the light as he ushers them into the truck. The truck lights blare into brilliance, and I hear the motor roar as the car begins to move forward at a pace more in keeping with the motor vehicle. I would lose it even if I were still able to move. No! No!
Well, goodbye, kids.
I let out a choked cry after them. Stop! Stop! Then I stop.
Okay.
The second cry had no depth to its volume. While the no had echoed normally down the empty street, the scream of stop had sounded like I screamed into the middle of a very crowded room.
Intriguing.
Slowly I reach behind me, laying hands on one of my pieces of emergency equipment. The kind of stuff you don't use when you want people to think you're some manner of elder horror. I slowly bring it around, just as I feel the breath on my neck.
Another friend, perhaps?
With a whip, I crack the flare. Seeing it burn red hot through my clenched eyes, and I hear the cacophony of screams. I open them. Thousands of twisted, naked heaps of malformed, demi-human flesh writhe in the agony of the light. And as I raise it above my head, the flare burns brighter.
A wall. Almost of unbearable flesh.
The darkness washes away.
End of the flesh.
I wheel around in place, but find myself alone back in the street.
In broad daylight.
In the middle of the day. I drop the flare and try futilely to snuff it out with my boot.
But he still had the flare. Interesting.
My little display has drawn an audience, and not so far down the street, I see my clients. Oh, fuck.
Profanity. Language, kids. Commercial.
So it's ghosts.
Yes.
I merely nod slowly.
But you can still get him back?
Yes.
I nod again.
But it's been over a week since you started searching. He hasn't eaten anything.
That would be concerning. Maybe he's already gone.
I still couldn't wrap my mind around how much time had passed in the darkness.
I would say a while.
He will be fine. Time does not pass normally where he is.
It speeds up.
You know where he is?
I nod. I'm going there tonight to get him back. They start crying. I'm not really sure what to do at this point, so I stand there, awkwardly, hoping that my layers give me more of the appearance of stoicism than an awkward penguin.
I know you have a reputation to uphold, but usually anyone with a shred of decency would try and comfort the couple.
Apparently it works.
Thank you. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
I leave the building as they both chant thank you, like it was some kind of prayer. It's not the first time I'd heard that prayer. It's not the first time I had done this. I'm ready this time as night falls. I withdraw a small shot and without hesitation jam it into my arm.
A shot, huh?
Viper venom. I had a friend back home who kept one as a pet. Weird kid. Milks the things. Sells the venom, mostly to medical facilities. Occasionally he sells it to me.
Interesting.
My knees nearly buckle as the burning begins to creep through my arm.
But why would you need viper venom?
I stifle a scream. Then I hear it, and everything clicks.
Really?
I let out a long sigh and stand up, adjusting my layers.
He actually took my advice.
I turn my eyes to fall upon the approaching truck.
Still old-fashioned.
My hand goes behind my back and my fingers close. I train the gun on the truck and unload a triad of shots into the ghost truck's engine.
Well, that's one way.
The engine sputters, the grating burns, melting away, and the music screams in protest.
And we don't hear the music screaming in protest?
What do you think you're doing?
An escapee from an Andy Warhol painting stutters, stepping awkwardly from the vehicle.
Sir, I believe there's something wrong with your eyes.
It's getting dark. I have to protect the children.
Only one thing may not exist. You and that which you fear must cease to be.
So they're both a ghost. Or they're both responsible, somehow.
But the children...
The darkness falls upon me. With such force, I stagger. I lose my grip and the gun disappears, searing into the shifting mass of flesh.
This mass of flesh, what is it for?
My hand goes behind my back, and my grip closes around a rough-hewn blade, forged of obsidian and steel.
Obsidian,
And as I carve outwards, I hear the screams of all the lost children, unwilling to accept their fate, and swallowed by the darkness.
Wait, so did you just kill the children that you were trying to protect?
Flesh tatters as I carve, burning away like paper, until finally, I lay into the man.
Oh. Word choice, please.
No, you don't understand. I was just trying to help.
I bury the blade into his throat.
Alrighty then, we don't even get an explanation.
The cacophony resounds as the children who lost themselves in the darkness writhe, and I go about my work of freeing them all, just as I had freed this man.
Cacophony. Okay, making a little more sense.
My baby. Oh, my baby. It's okay. Everyone's okay.
Wait, so he did save all the kids?
No, not everyone. They're all dead. Everyone. Everyone died.
Consider me officially confused.
7 kids lost here. And I got back all of them.
Okay then, so they're all alive. Well, of the most recent event.
I wonder how many I actually freed.
Only a few out of the total.
How many had he trapped in his nightmare? And what the hell was he so afraid of in that darkness? And most importantly, why did he ultimately abandon them to it?
Wouldn't we all like to know?
I don't know how to thank you. After a week of not hearing from you, I'd feared for the worst. A month after that, and I'd come to accept that it was over. I was ready to move on.
His eyes fall to his wife, still babying the boy, who won't stop staring off into the distance.
That poor child. He's probably going to be scarred for the rest of his life.
She had faith, though. She said that you were an angel, or maybe a demon. She didn't care. She believed in you. Some nights after she had said her Hail Marys, I would see her put her hands together, and I would hear her.
Demon? I like the sound of that.
She prayed to you.
I was almost flattered, but to tell the truth, the idea of someone believing so much in me, and praying to me, it was terrifying.
Agreed.
I want you to know, I'm willing to pay more than whatever your normal fee is. We've been living with a tight belt since I called you, and I won't lie and say I don't do well for myself. I have more than enough saved up to pay you anything we could ask. Or, if there's something else you want, there's nothing I can offer you that means more to me than my son.
I let out a long sigh. I reach up to my hood and pull it back.
So after all this work to keep up your reputation, excuse me, you decide to reveal yourself?
Both of them gasped, stepping back and then cocking eyebrows in unison, having perhaps expected something more. After having been gone for 2 months, I could really use a job.
Well, it looks like that's the end of that. Thanks for tuning in and helping me play the Phantom Truck. You heard me, Internet. Have a good day or evening, but try not to sleep.